Hey everyone! Today we're sharing our experience at the Lost Kitchen. It's such a hard ticket to get with a big price tag and travel required for most unless you happen to live in Freedom, Maine. So we wanted to write up a little blog post and also put together this little vlog so you can see what the experience is like, whether you're trying to snag a table or just curious. All in all, this was a big Father's Day splurge, but my dad actually became a fan of the Lost Kitchen's TV show over lockdown, and we got insanely lucky getting a table. So, if you don't know, the only way to get a reservation is to send in a postcard during the spring and hope that it gets pulled. People apply from all over, and the dining season only runs from May through September, so as you can imagine, it's crazy competitive. We feel so lucky that we actually got picked our first try. Sending in a Walks of Life postcard might have had something to do with it. From the second you walk across the bridge, every detail is so thought out. The restaurant is actually in this old mill, so it's situated on this little river with a waterfall. You walk through the outdoor dining area where Erin French's original Airstream, where she actually started her restaurant, is. Then there's a little shop full of beautiful homewares. We picked a few things out, but you actually have to buy them at the end of the night. But there was tons of good stuff. It was so difficult to not just buy it on the spot. There was serveware and home decor and linens and cooking gadgets and pots and pans and cups and gardening equipment and prestige cleaning tools. It was really awesome. I think everyone's favorite part of the beginning of the night was actually the welcome drink. Everyone got a rhubarb shrub served on crushed ice. It tasted kind of like kombucha, but it was non-alcoholic, and just a really nice way to get welcomed in.
Yeah, what is that? Oh yeah, it's from the mill. Hey, there's a sign!
The next stop was to the wine cellar, where their sommelier helped you pick a drink to pair with dinner. You could also choose from a selection of artisanal sodas, which is what I got. From the get-go, walking into the Lost Kitchen, basically there wasn't an ugly thing in sight. Everything was so well thought out and beautiful. I mean, I bought an Italian orange soda and they put it in a little basket for me to carry from the wine cellar into the dining room. It was actually perfect.
Mom, I got an orange soda and they put it in this basket.
The main dining room was lovely and people trickled into their tables from the shop and the wine cellar. The decor was really simple and beautiful, with lots of antique and mismatched dinnerware and flatware, and it was just a really great vibe. And they actually had some reclaimed parts from the mill that they had incorporated as decor, which was super cool.
It's a video, you chumps.
The whole experience actually reminded me of a Michelin-starred restaurant because every single detail was so well thought out and the service was incredible. Soon enough, the food started coming out. We started with the nibble board, a Lost Kitchen signature. We were a little sad that there was no bone marrow butter, which is one of the signature items featured on the show. But the night we went was more of a celebration of early summer despite the rains. So it was a charcuterie spread with almonds and olives and homemade potato chips. It was really good.
Very good.
After that, we were served Deer Isle oysters. They were actually the best oysters I think we'd ever had and were harvested locally in Maine. They were served with a chive mignonette, which was really, really delicious. Even my parents had nothing to say about them, which is pretty much the best compliment.
Well,
That's probably the best oyster ever.
Next up was a simple scallop just sliced and served with some flaky salt and this beautiful little flour. There might have been some other seasoning, but it was so simple and pure. That was followed by crispy pork belly slices with bee pollen. Afterwards, we had a little palate cleanser of a lavender sorbet. Erin French, the owner and head chef, actually served food right alongside the servers to all of the tables. I think I was equally as excited as she was about the tiny little chicken dish they were served in. It was just the perfect size to fit one tiny little melon ball scoop of sorbet.
Menu now. And I want to tell you that you may not have realized that when you came here tonight, you actually didn't come here for the food at all. What you came here for was the moment. You picked all of these people sitting around your table. You thought about it carefully. And if you brought the right people, 5 hours is going to feel like an hour, and it's going to slip away into the middle of the night. And I hope that you feel that feeling together, and I hope that you have that moment, and I hope that this memory lasts for a long time, because there's so much more important than the food is the people around your table tonight. So I'm raising my glass. I'm raising it to all of you for being here. How lucky are we in the middle of nowhere, having a 5-hour dinner that I never want to end, binging on Maine food. Welcome to freedom. Thank you. Cheers.
The carrot soup course was really lovely. I could have eaten a whole giant bowl of this, and it was served with fried chive blossoms on the side, which we were pretty delighted to see because we actually have a couple recipes on the blog that feature chive blossoms. They're not just ornamental, folks. Don't just prune them and toss them into the compost or even just think about putting them into a vase. They're delicious in their own right. I don't know about you, but I'm a sucker for a tableside soup service. Next was a good old salad, simply dressed with a selection of cheeses. While the salad was simple in its dressing, just a little bit of vinegar and oil, it was literally festooned in beautiful flowers. I also loved this ceramic paper plate that the cheese was served on. Really cute. By then, the kitchen was pretty busy preparing the main course, halibut and brown butter with capers. And Erin was right there working the line, making sure every piece of halibut was perfectly cooked. By this time, I think people were getting a little bit more comfortable in the space, and people stood up to stretch their legs, myself included, and to gawk at what was going on in the kitchen. But honestly, it was nice to just sit around the table and chit-chat and soak up the ambiance. Before long, the main course was hitting tables. Halibut and brown butter, perfectly cooked through with crispy capers, Parmesan polenta, and a little salad of jicama. And in an extremely decadent move, we were only served the top half of the asparagus stalks. We all wish there was a little bit more polenta because it was just so good with the fish, but it was a really beautiful main course. From there was a tea of fresh mint and chamomile, and then there was a parade of desserts. A literal parade. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. There were many honeycomb ice cream cones with homemade cones that were incredibly crispy and actual perfection, and of course, served on a bed of the most delightful pink flowers. Mini donuts with milk and coffee, and finally the dessert that was actually featured on the menu, a rhubarb shortcake, which was really simple, sweet, and delicious, and captured the essence of easy summer desserts. There were even some after-dinner chocolates to end the evening, but I didn't get a shot of those because we were too busy exchanging signed cookbooks with Erin. We brought our copy of The Lost Kitchen for her to sign and gave her a copy of ours. Over the course of the night, we actually noticed all around the dining room there were shelves and shelves of cookbooks, and Erin confirmed that they will often pop open a cookbook to cook staff meals during the day. All in all, it was a truly incredible experience and really one of a kind. We feel so lucky that our postcard was picked. We hope you enjoyed tagging along with us. Until next time.